So what you're seeing on the screen is what we call the UK's shortage occupation list. Yes, I'm going to let it scroll on the screen so you see. As you can see, there are several professions in there. I'm sure you can see teachers, nurses, or physiotherapists, blah, blah, blah. These are occupations where the UK has realized that they are short in these areas, and they have given some UK employers the permission to recruit foreign professionals to fill some of these job roles in the UK. My employer was short and was not able to find nurses within the UK to fill those vacancies. They got permission from the UK government to employ me from Ghana and bring me over here. Okay, so all these jobs on the shortage occupation list, that's how it works. And now what are we hearing? Now we are hearing that this shortage occupation list is going to be abolished. Like, seriously? Anyway, here are the details. Stop that. So guys, there's an independent body that advises the UK immigration on what to do. They always review current, policies, and then they update them. So this independent body is what we call MAC for short. So this is the Migration Advisory Committee. Their job, like I said, is to advise the Home Office on immigration related issues. And they have published a new report where they are recommending that the shortage occupation list of the UK be abolished. Their reasons? Okay, so the government first of all commissioned the MAC to review the shortage occupation list in August of 2022, but then they asked the MAC to pause its work pending clarification on the government's priorities surrounding the skilled worker route. So work on the review recommenced just last March of this year, March 2023, with an extensive stakeholder engagement across all sectors of the economy. In the report, the MAC set out a series of policy recommendations relating to the role of the shortage occupation list in the immigration system. The headline recommendation, guys, listen carefully, the headline of the MAC's recommendation is that the shortage occupation list should be abolished going forward, as it increases the risk of exploitation, undercuts wages, and has high administrative burden. And the whole report that they did, this is the cover letter, and this was written by Professor Brian Bell to the Home Secretary, and Brian Bell is the chair of the Migration Advisory Committee. This is the chairperson. So this is the covering letter. It says the risk of exploitation in low-wage jobs, the likelihood that low-wage migrants will lead to a net fiscal cost for the UK, and the administrative burden that the skilled worker route places upon low-wage employers mean that we are not convinced that the shortage occupation list, that's for short SOL, provides a sensible migration solution to shortage issues in low-wage sectors. And so we recommend that it should be abolished going forward. Wow. What happens if this is abolished? Because most of us have had the chance to migrate to the UK because of this list. Accountants, doctors, nurses, midwives. Even recently, the influx of many people coming to work as care assistants was because care assistants were added to the shortage occupation list. Yes. So what happens if this is abolished? What's going to happen? So as you all know, jobs on the shortage occupation list, they are giving some form of relaxations when it comes to some parts of the immigration rules. For instance, occupations on this list can be paid a salary of 80% of the going rates, offering employers a 20% discount. Let's say for me, when I was applying for my indefinite leave to remain, there's an amount of money that you should be earning, but they will give you a sort of like a relaxation that, however, if your job is on the shortage occupation list, you can be earning the minimum of whatever. So it's like there's a bit of relaxation for jobs on this sector. Okay, so that's why they are saying that occupations on this list can be paid a salary that's 80% of the going rate, offering employers a 20% discount. And it says occupations on the list are given some dispensations within the immigration rules designed to make it easier, and this is just designed to make it easier for employers to access migrant labor to fill the vacancies. Okay, and the MAC review argues that the shortage occupation list in its current form serves a relatively minor function in migration policy and is intended to complement the skilled worker route, not to support other government policies. So crucially, the committee condemns the idea that employers are able to pay below the going rate for shortage occupations and recommends that this policy be scrapped. So I think that is their main reason, the fact that employers can actually pay 80% of the going rate just because it's migrant labor. Because of that, this whole thing should be scrapped. Okay, because of all these relaxations and dispensations that the occupations on this list are entitled to. So this video is proudly sponsored by Lemfi. Yes, Lemfi. You can send money using Lemfi if you're in the UK, Canada, or the US to about 10 different African countries with no transfer charges. Absolutely no transfer charges. And it's a known fact that Lemfi has the best rates when it comes to transferring money. With Lemfi, you actually get value for your money, and the person gets the money almost immediately when you send it. You can send money from UK, Canada, or the US using LEMFI to Ghana, Nigeria, Benin, Tanzania, Rwanda, Cameroon, Senegal, Ivory Coast with zero fees. Honestly, zero fees. Ever since I discovered it, that's what myself and my family have been using, and it's been very reliable. I've never had any issues with it, and even if you have any issues, their customer support is going to sort out your issues immediately. You can download LEMFI whether you use on Android, whether you use on iOS, with a link in the description. And for your first transfer above £100, if you use the referral code Nanelle, you get 10% of the money you're transferring back. Yes, 10% cashback. So when you say £100, you get £10 back. When you say £200, you get £20 back. And even after that, you can generate your own referral code and, you know, share with your friends and family, your group chats. And then anytime somebody uses your code, you get a referral bonus as well. Yes, so don't forget to send money using my referral code. Okay, thank you so much, LEMFI, for sponsoring today's video. The committee also suggests that the social occupation list, or the SOL, can be a misleading name because, as some employers and some government departments interpret it as purely a list of all occupations in the UK that are currently in shortage. And now let me just summarize all the recommendations. So they did not just say abolish it, they also gave some sort of like recommendations that the MAC put in place to the Home Office that look at these things. Okay, so the first thing is that the MAC's preference is for the government to abolish the shortage occupation list, as they say that it is not convinced that the current system provides a sensible immigration solution to issues in low-wage sectors. Instead, the MAC suggests that in future, the committee could be commissioned to examine individual occupations or sectors where labor market issues seem particularly acute, possibly in collaboration with other bodies. So they said we should abolish that list, and then maybe in the future, when we look at some particular sectors or some particular departments that, you know, they know they are short, they can, you know, have a collaboration with other bodies, like let's say for nurses, let's say the NMC or the NHS, and, you know, come up with something else, not a whole list of so many other occupations on the list. That's how I understand this particular statement. How do you understand it? Comment below. And also they said, in the interim, the MAC, which is the Migration Advising Committee, has also recommended including only 8 occupations on the shortage occupation list and a further 2 occupations on the Scotland only shortage occupation list. So apparently there's a Scotland only shortage occupation list, and then there's a general UK shortage occupation list. The MAC is saying that only 8 occupations should be on the list. In a way, I sort of agree. Guys, don't get me wrong, because there are some occupations that are on the list, but when you're looking for a job in that sector in the UK, you're still struggling. Although they claim they are short, but people are here looking for, let's say, engineering jobs and they are not getting it. So why is it on the shortage occupation list anyways? The MAC also recommended that care workers and senior care workers remain on the shortage occupation list, given their recent inclusion and the government's continued failure to respond to the committee's April 2022 report on the sector. So it's saying that the MAC is increasingly concerned about the serious exploitation issues being reported within the care sector, and therefore plans to closely monitor the use of the immigration system by care work occupations and the health and social care sector more broadly, and will provide further comments on this area in its 2023 annual report in December. Although they want the shortage occupation list to be reduced to only 8 occupations, they are saying that as part of the 8 that should be on, care workers and senior care workers should be maintained on the shortage occupation list because of the, you know, all the exploitations that people are charging huge sums of money for COS. People are doing this, sneaking people in as dependents when they're not their dependents, and all these hula baloo around the care worker visa that, you know, they have been hearing. They want to keep it on the list so that they can closely monitor all these care workers that are doing that. So they're not keeping it on because they think they need. They're keeping it on because they want to closely monitor employers who are doing those illegal things. And later on, they'll comment about it again in December 2023. Another point that they raise is that while the shortage occupation list continues, the MAC recommends that the going rate discounts for occupations on the list should be removed. So they are saying that don't say that employers can pay the people 80% and the employers will have a 20% discount. Don't say that. That discount should be removed. And that asylum seekers should be given the right to work in any job, not just in occupations on the shortage occupation list, and that the creative worker visa route should be open to any occupation without a labor market test. This is a summary of what the Migration Advisory Committee recommended to the Home Office. And what is the Home Office going to do? This is an independent body. It has nothing to do with the government, okay? So the Home Office is also going to sit down, debate, and go over all these recommendations and see whether it makes sense or it doesn't make sense. And then they will see if they can also also accept some of these recommendations. So now, what is going to happen really? So following the report's publication, the government will now consider which recommendations to take forward, guys. And I will leave a link for you to read the whole report of the MAC. It's a whole huge file that you can read, but this is the summary that I have summarized for you. So should the Home Office decide to accept the MAC's recommendation to abolish the shortage occupation list, this will mark major changes for employers recruiting workers in the shortage occupation. And I will be here to give you all the feedback and all the updates. That is why, if you have not subscribed, you have to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification, because I am following this very closely so that if there's any updates, I'll be the first. And I'm also very eager to wait till December, because they said they're going to further comment on care workers and the senior workers being on the social occupation list, because they said it should still be on. As we speak now, I know some Ghanaians that are in safe houses because their Ghanaian employer has been arrested because this person was caught doing illegal stuff, charging people, paying them half of how much they deserve, blah blah blah. And this is all as a result of care workers being under the social occupation. You know, it was supposed to help the UK meet a demand, and now you're making the whole thing look so bad. Why won't they want to cut some of these things off? So guys, I will be here to give you an update should it drop. So guys, make sure your notification is on, so immediately I drop that video, you'll be able to watch, and then keep yourself updated, okay, with this whole UK immigration thing. So all links to everything that I have read will be in the description below, okay? So thank you so much for watching. Bye.